Hello, everyone. I am Corinne and I am back today with a conversation, um, with a friend. Really, she turned into a friend after many years. I'm here with Mimi, and Mimi and I we met when we both lived in Hong Kong. She came to one of my women's temple back then when she was pregnant with her first child, with Mala. And we stayed in touch over the years. She moved back to Germany. I'm in Dubai now. And then she reached out to me again when she was pregnant with her third child, with Kayo, who is here today with us and currently sleeping. And that's really what we're going to talk about a little bit. What made her reach out and how I supported her with, amongst different things, with nonlinear movement. Yeah. And so really, Mimi, great to be here with you. Thanks for agreeing to have this conversation. And
You're most welcome.
yeah. And so maybe the most important thing is always kind of to hear what made you reach out to me when you were pregnant with Kayo and when you were preparing, for your third birth.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me and for asking me these questions. I'm delighted to answer them. So after I've given birth twice, I had a bit more experience of, what's coming and what was I appreciating about the first two births I had, and what I things that I wished to be different for the third one. And I knew that, this third birth would most likely be my last. So I really wanted to be able to enjoy the process, and also to, try my best and give everything to prepare as much as I could. Because there's a great difference between just slipping into birth, not knowing what's coming, and really being aware of the process and being in the driver's seat, so to say.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And since I felt quite overwhelmed during one of the previous births and not at all in control, I really wanted to change that with the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. This is really what you desire was when you came
Mm-hmm.
to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then obviously we did, usually we had the conversation about the last two births as well, because that's
Yeah.
always important to take into consideration. And what you would like to kind of realize this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I mentioned, you said, was really you wanted to be more in the experience while it's
Mm-hmm.
happening and less, I think, I'm not sure if this is what the word, but less overwhelmed with
Mm-hmm.
the maybe the intensity of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the things. And that's where really then because having worked as a birth doula, yeah, which you knew as well,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many women giving birth, and I've just seen that for women who are in touch and connected to the body and can also really sense what's happening in the body moment by moment, um, they they then can easier move their body instinctively, yeah, or intuitively in a way that just makes it easier to cope with
Mm-hmm.
the intensity of
Mm-hmm.
labor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And nonlinear movement, I knew, is just one of these tools that can really support that process. Yeah. And then also, of course, it helps regulating the nervous system. And it also really um, helps one to release tension. And so when we think of childbirth, there's contraction happening. Oh, okay. How can I move? How can I just naturally breathe to make this a little bit easier? Yeah. And so I
Mm-hmm.
suggested that as part of, the coaching, I introduced you to it, and then you kind of practice it while you were pregnant. You brought it in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
so that was one of the part that we did, and then we did some one-on-one coaching as well, and some preparation together with your
Mm-hmm.
husband. Now, maybe one question I have: in what way, just looking back, just briefly, in what way do you think did the nonlinear movement method help you during the act of giving birth, of birthing your baby into this world?
I think for me, and that's why I wanted to mention this, that came already before. For me, one of the greatest benefits of the nonlinear movement part was, first of all, I had a daily practice to get my headspace into, the labor land. I felt like 2 weeks before I actually gave birth, I was already with one foot in the labor land. I was super sensitive and, feeling all the feelings and already kind of in between two worlds. That was helpful. And also, while I was doing the practice almost every day, I had a lot of beautiful associations just coming to my mind. I didn't make them come. They just, came about birthing and about how it could be. And that gave me a lot of trust into the ability of my own body. I'm a very logical person, always in my head. And for me, it's really difficult to get into the body and to trust my body fully and let it take over, kind of. And the daily practice really helped me to be confident that, my body will know and I can trust that. And I can also voice that out because I will know what's right at the time. And this trust was probably the most beneficial during the entire process and during the actual birthing.
The trust in yourself and your body, yeah? I love that. I love everything you share, because that's really what comes when we do it as a daily practice. And I remember you didn't do it super long every day because you have 2 kids already. You had 2 kids already. I mean, your hands are full as a mom of 3 with a job, and you did it. And I also remember the first time I introduced you to it, you had, even then in the session, I think you did it on a birth ball, the first session, or maybe even a chair, right?
A burl or a chair, yeah. I didn't lie on the floor.
Yeah, you imagine yourself being in the birthing center, right? And that's what you kind of kept going back to naturally, as you say, right? Naturally, it was not like you thought about this; this came to you. Yeah, wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing that, because I think that trust, that's what every woman just kind of longs for, to have that trust in herself, in her body. That you can do this. Yeah.
Well, for me, it didn't come naturally, even though I knew even before my first child was born, women are made to give birth and to create life. And, every person that lived before us was born. And so every woman before us had given birth, who actually decided to, but still, so I knew, the women's bodies are able to give birth, but to really trust into my own body and to not trying to do it, but to let it happen.
Yeah.
And that was really a big difference between the last birth I had and the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And so maybe the last question. So through the entire birth journey that we did together, I think we did like 4 sessions or something like that. It wasn't a huge amount of sessions that we did. What were you feel like to realize by this tailored approach that we came up together?
I did have 2 major areas where I was really worried about. One was the part about losing control and being overwhelmed with. And another one was the aftermath, the breastfeeding, because the breastfeeding has been really difficult for me. And through the coaching, I think I was able to be more at ease. It's not that fears entirely evaporate, but we did have very good backup plans A, B, and C. If this happens, what can I do? How can I regain control? That was essential during the session we had together with my husband. So I knew, if push comes to shove, he'll take over he'll be there. He'll be able to get me back into where I want to be. In the end, it wasn't necessary, but knowing that it would have happened, I think gave me enough trust and security to not lose control. That was the one bit. And the bit about breastfeeding, I think my breastfeeding journey is, I mean, every journey is unique, but has a lot of challenges in it. And I was able to make peace with all the eventualities that could happen before I got into it. And that also eased the pressure a lot that I put on myself.
Yeah, I remember that was really the pressure that you kind of came into a much more compassionate relationship with yourself around all the different scenarios of what could happen. Yeah. Wonderful. And maybe one word, because I think this is important also for those, really, because I do like bringing the partners in when they are willing and open. Is there maybe one, if you just think of one word, maybe what did it bring your husband? Just that one session where he came on, which was the last one. When you're thinking back, what was maybe the key thing for him that he took away from that?
I think he understood way better than ever before what my fear was during a birth and what I needed from him and how he could actually help and support.
Yeah,
because it's very difficult for partners because they're kind of in it too, but also really far away from it. And seeing your partner suffer, which birthing is painful. We need contractions to get the baby to come out. It does hurt, and seeing your partner being hurt and not being really able to do something potentially, I think that's very difficult. And I think during the session and also the conversation it sparked, we would probably not have had without it. I think he felt like he could really do something and he could have he can make a difference. And that was very helpful. Yeah.
He felt empowered in himself as well, right? Like he had more tools almost.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he printed out all the papers.
I remember.
He highlighted all the sentences that we both really liked, and I knew that would be very helpful. And he did tell me during birthing, you can do this, you can endure everything for 60 seconds, and other women are birthing right at the same time like you're doing. So he gave me a lot of reassurance through it, and they came from the preparation.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That makes me so happy.
Since it was so fast then at the end, we stayed at home for a very long time. So he actually had to help giving birth too, because there was only the midwife, there was no doctor. It happened so fast that he had to be involved. And the midwife told him what to do, and he was very calm, and he actually participated too. So I'm not sure if he could have done that without being better prepared.
Yeah, he's also a very sweet man. Like he's such a good, a good partner in crime.
He is,
yeah. Well, thanks for your really open share. I really think it helps other women to just hear the things that you expressed. Is there anything else you want to say? Otherwise, we leave it here, not to make it too long. You have a busy...
maybe just encourage everyone to, really think about how you would like to give birth, because there are many different ways, and neither is, correcter or less good. But really think about what you want and then just go for it. We can do this. We're made to do this. And I was staying at home for a very long time. Everybody was telling me, oh, you should go to hospital now. It's like, no, I'm not ready yet. And eventually it turned out really well. So trust your body, do the preparation. It's like you don't go into a test without being prepared. So I think this is one of the more serious tests we have in life. So be prepared, but then just go for it.
Yeah, be prepared. That's important. And then you just prepare for whatever happens.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we can't control what exactly will happen, but you know that you set yourself up in the best possible way, and now you got to dance with life.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I think, if anything goes south, I mean, you never know. Everything's possible. I believe it's still easier to deal with when you've done everything you could, and that was just what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks so much, Mimi. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
And to everyone else who is listening, I do have a workshop coming up where I'm going to introduce nonlinear movement as a tool to really connect during pregnancy, and then, how that can help you through childbirth. It's going to be a session at Joint Space, which I'm going to do with a chiropractor, with Catherine Moss. And there will be more information on that. It will probably happen in May. And it's just really a pregnancy body connect session, because it's just key that you just learn and feel comfortable connecting with your body and know how to do that. Yeah. So you can trust yourself and your body more. And if you don't live in Dubai, then you can always reach out to me. There are other ways how I potentially can support you. Yeah. Okay, so until next time, goodbye. And you just stay on for a moment.
Thanks. Bye-bye.